All right, MMA fans, we have brought Knoxville's own Scott Holtzman in studio for you to talk about XFC 20 this Friday night at the Knoxville Civic Coliseum. What a terrific promotion, and our guy, we've been talking to him for a while here on the show. Now on the big stage, and he's undefeated in his XFC career. Hot sauce, Scott Holtzman joining us in studio. Scott, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Vince. Thanks for having me on.
Let's get his mic up there, Will, and boy, undefeated in your career. Talk about that debut, that debut in the XFC in beating Damastes, second round rear naked choke. Talk about going through, because you look so calm, cool, composed, collected, all those C words. I mean, you look like you belong there. Talk about that debut and the win over Damastes.
The debut was really something special, I think, especially to be in my hometown. He was a tough opponent, good wrestler, really hard-nosed. But, I always trained hard, and I was ready for him, so it was a lot of fun, and it couldn't have went any better. It felt good to get a good win like that in my hometown. So,
what kind of feedback did you get from not just your guys, your friends and people around you, but what was some of the feedback from people that maybe aren't always in your ear in how you performed? What was that like to get those type of compliments?
Well, it was good. You always want to know and have a little bit of reassurance that you're doing your job well. Obviously, a win shows that. But, after that win, I started to get a little more recognition outside of just around the local MMA scene. So that was good as well. And of course, the XFC people were really impressed. They offered me a 5-fight live TV deal after that fight. So, everything's kind of coming together and moving along quickly after that fight. So, I knew that was my opportunity to prove myself, and just tried to go out there and take advantage.
Scott, what was your athletic background, if you played a sport or anything, or just how did you get channeled into this direction?
I've been an athlete my whole life. I played pretty much every sport growing up, football my whole life, all the way through high school. Baseball, ended up playing a little bit of college baseball, junior college, and hockey, and then dabbled in pro hockey a little bit. So I'm just an athlete, and I'm competitive, and when I thought sports were over for me, I needed another outlet. I did the grown-up job, sat in the cubicle and all that, and, man, it drove me crazy. So I had some friends that did MMA, and I just went to the gym, and I never left. But, in the beginning, I didn't plan on competing, but my competitive side took over before too long.
Did you wrestle in high school or anything?
No, never wrestled. I wish I had, but I love wrestling, and it's one of my stronger things now. So.
What sports do you still play hockey now, though, right? What's you got the hockey season coming up now?
Yeah, we have hockey season coming up. I still dabble in it, and of course I'm friends with some of the Ice Bears coaches and things like that. They're good friends of mine, and of course Rusty Enzer.
It's our guy.
Old Faithful, yeah. So I play with him. I like to knock him around a little bit in the league around here.
Yeah, never vice versa, by the way, because he knows better. So what about the diet? What's the diet like as you prepare for a fight?
The diet's really clean. Of course, high protein and a lot of complex carbs and all that for energy for training. I'm training 2-3 times a day, and then I'll have a couple good meals on the weekend to kind of recharge and rebound. But really clean, man. I take it serious, and I like to manage, my weight. I'm a professional, so, I don't like it when people miss weight, so I certainly would never do it.
What is your weight and like in your class, how many pounds either way?
Well, I fight in lightweight, so it's 155. So tomorrow at 5 p.m. I'll have to be 155, and I like to train around 175 to 177. So,
and then get down, come all the way down. Wow.
Yep, and I'll come down. So I got about 10 more pounds to lose before tomorrow.
We're visiting. I've seen that done last minute, by the way. So MMA and boxing are similar in some ways in that way. XFC 20 High Octane this Friday night in Knoxville. One of the top promotions out there. XFC will be in town. The Knoxville Civic Coliseum starts at 7 o'clock. The main event is Lorenzo Borgomeo. Is that right? Borgomeo?
I think so. Yeah.
He's a Paisan. I should know that. And taking on Eric Reynolds. That's a 155-pound lightweight fight. And then you're in one of the co-main events taking on Chris Coggins. There's also a women's division bout with Sophia Bagardai against Sarah Malloy. There's some bantamweight fights, some welterweight fights as well. What's it like to be in the XFC and then to see that kind of card and be a part of that on AXS TV as well?
That's really special. A lot of people spend a lot of time fighting around smaller shows and things like that. I've been lucky enough to kind of work my way up quickly. So to be a part of that, and there's some big names on the card. Obviously, all the best local guys are on the card: Drew Kennedy, Chris Wright, Chad Perrine, a lot of those guys. So it's cool to be a part of that, and especially to be up there and to headline the card is something special. And I definitely appreciate that. The XFC's been good to me.
All right. Now, I mentioned the people around you and the compliments that you get. That isn't just a couple, 2-3 people. I mean, that is, tell people about the Hot Sauce Hooligans.
Well, the Hot Sauce Hooligans, they're a special breed of guys. I'd hate to let their identity out here on the air. I don't think they'd like that, but they're pretty well known around. But they're something else. And when they first did that, I didn't know they were going to do that. Obviously, they don't want to distract me or anything like that. But obviously, I can't control what my fans want to do, and hey, I'm okay with it. So they're having fun, and I'm just glad I can bring everybody together for it.
For people that don't know, how did the Hot Sauce nickname come about?
Well, it's really not that cool of a story. I just
make something up, Scott.
Yeah, everybody wants me to make up this this big elaborate story, but the truth is I just eat a lot of hot sauce. So my buddy Adam Scott, he gave me the nickname and kind of brought it to the gym, and it stuck. I think in the beginning they tried to give me a lot of the traditional MMA nicknames, and I wasn't having it. Like Killer and Axe Murderer and all those kinds of silly names, and that's just not me. I'm just a regular guy, so. When they gave me hot sauce, I was like, "That's fine, I'll take it."
Yeah, no, those wouldn't fit you, and those are played out anyway. But
yeah,
hey,
exactly.
Can you do a favor? Can you do me a favor? Can we take you around our building? And I'd like to just go kind of cubicle by cubicle, and maybe you can submit some of our staff members, just put them in a submission hold, just so maybe we can get some productivity out of them. It would, I think, it would help business. We don't want you just to do any sort of stand-up game, because that might kind of get messy. But can we walk around and make us look good? I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I do stuff like that all the time. I go on tour after the fights and take care of public relationships, stuff like that all the time.
All right, now you're undefeated in your XFC career. You got this opportunity against Chris Coggins. Well, what do you know about Coggins, and what does he bring to the table? Do you know?
I know Coggins is a veteran in the local Tennessee MMA game. He's considered one of the top 2 or 3 in the state. So that's how they're kind of playing it up to see, who's one of the best in the state. And he's much more experienced than I am, which is one of the advantages he has over me. Experience is a big thing in this game, but I'm ready to get my experience too, and I'm ready to test myself like always.
We're visiting with Knoxville MMA fighter Scott Holtzman, who is just soaring up the ladder in MMA with a great promotion based out of my hometown of Tampa, Florida, by the way, in the XFC. And I know there's been a lot of people that have seen you, and now with that 5 fight deal that you have, probably not that far away from another C and a championship bout. Is that on your mind? Are you positioning for that? How does that work?
Well, yeah, they've said that the winner of my bout will be in line for the next title shot, so #1 contender. But it's something I kind of put off. I don't really worry about that for now. I'm just focused on this fight. So it's in the back of my head, but far back, I've just kind of heard that. But after this fight, I'll see what happens and go from there.
All right, first 2 callers right now. We talked about it at the beginning of our conversation with Scott. We mentioned who Scott beat in his XFC debut. First 2 people to call us right now at 656-9900 and tell us who Scott Holtzman beat in his XFC debut. You win tickets to this Friday's XFC 20 event, the Knoxville Civic Coliseum. 656-9900, 656-9900. Star 990 is free for AT&T and U.S. Cellular customers. Toll free 1-866-656-9900. First two, you get tickets to Friday's event, and you're going, and we'll have some more trivia on Scott coming up the rest of the week. Scott, great to see you. Good luck on Friday night.
All righty, thanks guys for having me.
All right, that's you should be proud of this young man from Knoxville, MMA fighter Scott Holtzman. Hot sauce here on the new Sentiel Sports Page.